Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do a detailed review on this Keurig K Supreme. These are selling brand new for about $150. I was able to pick this up off of Facebook Marketplace for $50. Normally they're selling for around $75 on Facebook Marketplace, but I think I found a pretty good deal. I really like this Keurig. One of the main features of this one is it's multi-stream. So you lift this up and you're going to notice right away, normally they just have the center needle, but this one's got 4 other needles that inject water into the K-cup, and that's supposed to improve the brew process and improve the flavor. Here's a normal K-cup where a normal Keurig where it's just got that single needle in the middle. And back to this one, it looks really nice. So yeah, the water's coming out all 4 of these and the center one. Other than that, it acts like a pretty standard Keurig. You put your K-cup here. It's going to pierce the bottom, pierce the top. Let's look at the top. So they claim this has the strong brew and the over ice. It's got an add water light and a descale light, but it's got 6 ounce, 8 ounce, 10 ounce, and 12 ounce. Let's go over size. So with the drip tray installed, you've got about 6 1/4 inches, but the drip tray is removable. And with the drip tray removed, you got about 7 inches for a big travel mug. So front to back, you've got about 12 inches. Side to side, it's about 7.5. There is no cord storage. It's about a 2-foot long cord, and it's 3-prong. So to plug it in, you just plug it in. So the unit's not very tall. It's only 12 inches tall. But when we lift the lever, it's right about 18. It's going to fit under a kitchen cabinet just fine. So here I've got it installed under a standard kitchen cabinet. You got plenty of room, access. I really like the Reservoir. You don't need to lift it up very high to get it out. So this can fit underneath a kitchen cabinet very nicely. So one of the really nice features is this water reservoir. It's got this lid that pops off, but I really like this handle. It makes filling this up very simple and easy, and it's got a nice grip. It just fits right on there. It's a little wobbly, but it fits on there and stays put. But it's just easy to fill up and put on. That's one of the nicest features of this machine. The second thing is, so this reservoir, we can move this reservoir to the back. And I'm going to show you how to do that here. Okay, so I've got the unit. I've got it unplugged. I've got it flipped upside down. This little piece that comes out the back, just pulls straight out. Now, this is a tricky part. You don't want to pull this all the way out. There's a hose connected underneath here. We're going to leave that hose connected. You're simply just going to pull this away, rotate it, and put it back in. Originally, I thought you would disconnect it, but you don't ever disconnect it. There's a hose attached. We want to leave that hose attached, and again, we're simply just going to pick it up. Now here's the tricky part. You got to get the extension cord up. So there's a track for the extension cord to go in, but then we're just going to find where this slides in, and then it'll kind of lock. And now you've got to run the extension cord here. And you're going to put this piece, this just slides in to kind of hold everything in place. So now with the water reservoir on the back, it's about 15 inches, but it's really skinny. And so that's the looks of it with the water. It's really hidden with the water reservoir on the back. And it can go either way. You can have the handle that way or that way. That's a really nice feature. So again, front to back about 15, and now yeah, it's only about 5 inches wide. So the machine really looks different with the reservoir in the back. Really, you could call this a slim almost. So I like the looks with the reservoir on the left side. You cannot put the reservoir on the right side. It can only go on the left side or the back. So the drip tray, you know, it's all plastic, but you can put this in the dishwasher, top rack, these 2 parts. You know, this is an expensive machine, but it is kind of plasticky looking, but I do like the machine. I think the money you're spending is this is a really nice water reservoir. It's kind of a slim look, and you're paying for this multi-brew technology. You know, you would think for a higher price one, this would be like a metal, you know, drip tray. It might look a little nicer, but this is all pretty plastic. It looks like a plastic handle. So it's got the standard Keurig controls. Like I said, the 6 ounce, 8 ounce strong over ice. And then this is your big brew button. So for coffee K-Cups, I brew mine on 8 ounces. But they give you the option 6, 8, 10. You can brew your, or 12 even. 12 is pretty weak for a coffee K-Cup. But 8 ounces to me seems just right. But if you like it a little weaker, go to 10. You like it a little stronger, go to 6. That's why they give you these options here. Then for your hot chocolates, you're probably going to go maybe 10 or 12. And your teas, you're probably going to go 10 or 12. You can do a tea on these lower settings, but I find that the 10 and 12 work a little bit better. And then if I'm going to show you how to brew it over ice. You're just going to press this button first, and then you can brew any size you want over ice. It just brews at about 10 degrees cooler. And strong, I've never quite figured strong out. They say it extracts more flavor. Now, it tends to brew it a little bit slower. So this will brew any Keurig or even a generic K-Cup. These are made by Keurig, but all kinds of companies make a standard K-Cup, and these will brew them. Now, if you look on the back, some boxes will tell you, okay, I like the Starbucks one. It says, use the 8 ounce setting on your brewer. Now, most boxes don't give you that. They just say brew your coffee, whatever strength you like. But they figured out that this Starbucks brews the best at the 8 ounce. And I find that to be true with most coffee K-Cups. So I'm going to do this donut shop. Again, we're just going to lift the lid. You just place the K-Cup in here. I'm not going to pierce the bottom. I'm going to let the machine do the work. When I pull the handle, it's going to pierce the top and the bottom all at once. So see, it does all the work for you. Now, these lights are flashing. The power's on. And like I said, I'm going to do just so I'm going to do an 8 ounce. So press the 8 ounce first. Then I still got to press this bit. This is the brew button, the K button. This is a very quiet machine. I'm very impressed. It's also very fast. Now, Keurigs in general are pretty fast, but this one seems to be just a little bit faster and a little bit quieter. It does have a nice stream coming out of there. I'm not getting a bunch of splashing around. Some of your cheaper machines, it kind of splashes all over. They do recommend stirring these drinks when you're done. You do get quite a bit of steam coming around, but it smells really good. And just when you think it's done, it's got one last shot. Now it's done. And when it's done, the brew light will go out. So it's done. Again, you don't get the big water boiling on the inside, a noise and all that. This is a very quiet machine. I'm not sure how they're doing it. Let's check temperature real quick. That's a pretty standard. About 160. And you can see, so in under a minute, you had an 8 ounce cup of coffee. I didn't time it or anything, but it's just so fast compared to anything else. So let me do a taste test. I've tasted this before. It tastes really good. Yeah, that's a really nice hot cup of coffee. Very, very good tasting. Okay, so we just lift the lid. Check out my other video. I've got a video on how to recycle K-Cups. But be careful, these can be hot, and there are those sharp needles up above. But here's what the K-cup looks like. See how it's got those 4 holes punctured into it. 1 in the middle and 4 on the side, so 5 total. I'm going to cut the K-cup open to see what it did on the inside. Here we have the bottom. The bottom gets punctured with 1 needle still, just like a normal Keurig. So here we have the bottom of the K-cup. It's got a nice filter. All the coffee is inside a filter. That paper filter prevents sediment in your coffee. So here we've got the top. I'm going to open it up. I'm brewing another K-cup over here in kind of a standard Keurig machine. See how you can hear that that water boiling action? You really don't get that sound with this other machine. This machine is relatively quiet compared to like a standard Keurig machine. So I'm going to take out, this is just a standard Keurig. See how it's got the 1 hole? I'm going to compare it to this one. So here we have the MULTISTREAM where it poked 5 holes in. And I'm going to cut this one open. So here we've got the 1 hole. So, it does look a little different. Maybe these coffee grounds on this side get it saturated a little bit more. And here we've got the one with the single. It's hard to tell from looks. The taste, it does taste a little bit better with the MULTISTREAM. But again, it's very, very hard to tell. Again, there's that MULTISTREAM. It's going to poke holes in all those areas and water's going to come out in all those areas. It says it extracts more flavor. Again, I'm not a super taster for coffee. I'm just not an expert at coffee tasting. For me, it's really hard to tell the difference. I think one of the main things you're going to buy this for is the convenience. It's not noisy, and the water reservoir is really nice. Okay, so here I've got a Peet's coffee. And if you look on the back of it, it doesn't give you an ounce setting to brew it at. But again, I'm just going to place it in there. And as you close it, you'll see this little arm kind of catches the K-cup and kind of helps push it down and kind of line everything up. So let's do a strong brew. So we're going to press the strong button first. When we press it, it lights up. Now I still have to select my size. Let's do 8 ounce, and then I got to do the brew, which is the big K button. So it starts brewing almost immediately. Again, this is my strong brew. And the things I notice is, so the water comes out a little slower, and I think that's how they extend the time. Now, this is one of the few machines, the strong brew, I actually taste a difference. So there are some other Keurigs that have strong brew, and I've been having a hard time tasting the difference. But for some reason on this one, the strong brew does taste a little more, it does taste a little more stronger. Not necessarily more bitter, but just more of a fuller flavor. Maybe even like a darker. So you can see it's taken a little longer. It doesn't take a whole bunch longer. And just when you think it's done, it's got a little bit more to go here. And now it's done. We'll check the temperature of that. So it brews at about the same temperature, 163. These cool off so fast. That's about what this one was brewed at. And again, this is one of the few ones where I can do a taste test difference. Yeah, that's a pretty nice, I kind of like the setting on this. I think I'll be using the bold setting on this. It does taste a little bit better. Again, you just lift the machine up. Again, these can be very hot, so be careful. You're just simply going to lift it up. Now, once in a while, you do get coffee grounds kind of up and around here and some flavors. It's good just to do a rinse once in a while. So you would leave the K-cup out, put this down, just do an 8 ounce and a K, and you'll see the water's a little brown. That's because there's just some residual kind of oils in this basket and around the needles that it kind of cleans once in a while. And especially between flavored drinks. So if somebody's doing a tea, you're going to want to do a rinse, or hot chocolate, because you will get that coffee taste, and vice versa. If somebody does a tea, you'll definitely get that tea taste in a coffee drink. So I'm going to do a rinse. Let's just do a 6 ounce. And I've only done 2 K-cups since my last rinse, and you can see the water's just a little brown. So you do have some residual kind of coffee in that area. And you might even see a couple coffee grounds floating around in there. In fact, I do see some coffee grounds floating around in there. And you could dispense hot water for a tea. So say you wanted to do a hot chocolate or a tea with hot water, or a soup. You know, do a rinse first, kind of get the yuckiness out. And then you could do a hot water, again, leave the K-cup thing open, and you could run hot water out here. And you would have hot water for like a tea or a soup or something. And it's really hot water. Yeah, about 163. So be careful. So now let's do the over ice. So I'm going to put another K-cup in. Okay, so I've got my K-cup in. I'm going to close the lid. Now, you can only do over ice. You can't do over ice and a strong. So it's either or. So neither one of these lights are lit up. So there I select over ice. I can't select strong now. Now I want to pick. You want to select what size. No, when you do over ice, it's only one size. Let's start that over. So turn it on. Over ice. Lift it up. Over ice doesn't allow you to select a size. Only the brew light is flashing. So once you select over ice, let's just hit the brew button, and let's see how much we get out. So here it is brewing over ice. You can see it's still really hot. So you're going to have to use a lot of ice, because it's going to melt it right away. So that's what we get. Looks like almost 8 ounces, but I'm going to measure it. Here we have the over ice. I'm going to pour it into here. So it looks like 6 ounces. So when you do over ice, you can only get 6 ounces. And again, it tries to brew it a little cooler. I mean, 150. So that's about 10 degrees cooler than you would get normally. But it does help with over ice, but it is still extremely hot. So 6 ounces is all you get over ice. So here I've got a kind of a bigger glass. I've got it filled all the way to the top with ice. Now you can brew your coffee right into here, but I like to add about halfway with milk. And then we'll brew our 6 ounces into here. So again, here I've got milk added with this. You can put syrups in this now, or you don't have to add quite as much milk as I did. But this is a bigger glass, so we're going to take the drip tray out. Again, we're going to lift it up. We're going to put our coffee K-cup in. Again, when we do over ice, we're not allowed to pick a size. It's only going to do 6 ounces. So over ice and then brew. The theory behind this is, so you're only getting 6 ounces of coffee, but it's going to get watered down quite a bit because of the ice melting. So that's probably why they don't brew a more like 8 or 10 ounce. And again, you can vary your milk. And again, you can put syrups in here, vanilla, caramel. So I misjudged this a little bit. It filled it all the way to the top. So I probably put a little too much milk into it. But you definitely want a lot of ice, because with that coming out at 150 degrees, it does melt the ice quite a bit. And you can brew this right into a travel mug, you know, because that's what you would probably normally do, is put that in a big travel mug. So again, mine's really, really full, but you can stir it up. You can see the ice is, but it's a cold drink. I mean, the ice is melting pretty quick, but it's a really cold drink. That's a pretty good tasting iced coffee. So that is a pretty nice feature of this machine, to be able to brew over ice, 10 degrees cooler. So this thing does shut itself off after 5 minutes. So what you'll notice is that power light just goes out after 5 minutes. But I'm okay with that, because this thing powers up really quick, heats up the water really quick. Some machines do stay on for a little bit longer, and you can program them to stay on. But this one is okay if it shuts off, because it's just such a quick machine and quiet. It does have a high altitude setting. If you press the 8 ounce and the brew button at the same time for 3 seconds, you'll change it to high altitude setting. Like if you lived in Denver or something. I'm going to do 2 more videos on this machine. I'm going to go into detail how to clean the needles. If your machine's not working, one of the main reasons could be the needles are clogged. I'm also going to do a D-scale. Now this has a D-scale light, and it's really important to keep up on the D-scale. I'm even going to do a D-scale with vinegar and a D-scale with the Keurig solution. 2 different videos. So I really like this machine. Unfortunately, it is expensive, but I did find a really good deal. You can find some good deals on Facebook Marketplace. Just be careful, make sure they're not really used. And I would definitely plug it in and try it out if you can. But this is about a $140 machine. Would I pay $140 for this? Well, if it was my only Keurig, space was a concern, over ice, and just I really love the portability of the water reservoir. I mean, you would be surprised, but I know you can fill water reservoirs up with other containers and stuff, but I just really like the water reservoir, and the footprint of this is really nice, and it looks really nice. It does come in a silver model. I wish it looked a little bit more, had a little bit more metal on it or something. I mean, this is plastic and stuff, but again, it does look really well. It gives you the options. I really like this machine. I'm also going to do a comparison. So I've got the Keurig K Elite, which is a little bit bigger machine, but it looks like it has about the same features, but other than that multi-brew. So again, yeah, one of the things, this is that multi-brew technology. Now they do have a K Supreme Plus. I'm going to try to get my hands on one of those. I'm going to do a review, and then I can do a comparison between the two. So check out my other videos. I'll be doing comparison videos with this, with other Keurig machines, and I'll be doing a D-scale on it. If you've got any questions at all on this machine, please leave them in the comments down below. I check my comments on a daily basis. Thanks everybody for watching, and if you could, please like and subscribe.